Yo, what is up? What is up? What is up? Serie A game day 15 has commenced with Napoli winning their last game of the year. Tomorrow, Milan plays against Fiorentina at 9 a.m. Pacific time. Then we have Inter Atalanta, which is a very interesting game because it is both our competitors. They're close to us. Inter is only, as you can see from the table, 3 points away from us. Same as with Atalanta, only 3 points away from us. And tomorrow we're playing against Fiorentina, a team that is not an easy team to play against. Fiorentina always been a team that has been difficult to play against. So, first of all, I want people to understand something, right? Uh, First of all, in the beginning of the season, I got a lot of shit. I got a lot of flack, right? Because I said Napoli has one of the best rosters in the world before a ball was even kicked. And I knew I was going to get heat for that. I knew I was going to be attacked left and right. Yeah, because nobody can see what I can see. That is the truth. That is the truth. Nobody can see what I can see. So when I said many before a game even started that Napoli had one of the best rosters. Yeah, I was attacked left and right. People attacked me. They said I'm an idiot. They said I don't know what I'm talking about. I had idiots in the chat saying Origi 20, and I was telling them no, this guy's never going to score 20 goals. But watch out for Napoli. Watch out for Vice Veraschilia. Watch out for these guys. They have a crazy ass team, and everybody said I'm an idiot and that I don't know what I'm talking about. And once again, the beauty about YouTube is that everything is recorded. And once again, let me teach you. Why don't you shut the fuck up and let me teach you? How about this to all the people that doubt me? Anyway, I just want to say one thing, and I want to re emphasize this concept. Milan is not weaker than last year. People are saying Milan is weaker. Maybe you can say that we have lost a little bit of solidity. Maybe we haven't replaced Kessie. We haven't replaced Kessie. That's the truth. We have not replaced Kessie. Because last year we had an extra top player in the middle and maybe even an extra top player in defense in the rotational system with Romagnoli, who's having an excellent season with Lazio. By the way, Lazio is second, and they conceded only 8 goals. So good job, Romagnoli. I'm sorry you had to hear the abuse of all the Milanisti that always talk crap about you, but good job for you. I don't think it's going to last for long, but whatever. Anyway, I want people to understand that the difference between this year and last year, there is no difference between this year, last year. Uh, as a matter of fact, if you look at Milan this year, look at Milan. So right now we have 14 games. Look at us. We after 14 games, we have three ties, 2 losses. Okay, so now let's go to last year. Is it really that different? Is it really that different? After 14 games, we had 2 losses, the Fiorentina and then the the Sassuolo. Then we had a tie against Inter, and then so the only difference between this year and last year is that we tied a game more. So again, it's literally the same squad. It's the same team. Our players have grown, though. You can see that we have grown. Maybe you can argue that the schedule here last year was a little bit easier, but we conceded goals too, guys. Like in this, like people are saying we didn't concede goals. No, we conceded goals. Look, second game we conceded a goal there. We conceded goals against Juve. We conceded goals against Spezia. We conceded 2 against Atalanta. We conceded 2 against Verona. We conceded 2 against Bologna. We conceded 1 against Roma, 1 against Inter. We conceded 4 against Fiorentina. We conceded 1 against. So, like, it's like people are pretending as if we did not concede goals in the beginning of last season. No, we conceded goals in the beginning of last season, guys. We freaking conceded a lot of goals in the beginning of last season. I don't know why people want to say that our defense is shaky when we're literally conceding the exact same amount of goals. It's literally almost the same season. Uh, let's look at Napoli last year. What did they? I mean, they kind of they started very impressive. Maybe it was. I don't think it was like this though. Let me check. It could have been. Let me see. So Napoli has had all victories, two ties. Was it the same last year for them up until this moment? Were they this much forward than everybody else? Let's check. Um. Okay. From game day 14, they had a loss and two ties. So they were strong last year too. They were strong last year too. Then this is where they started to lose points here. They went 3 games here and they lost a bunch of points. Um, but this year you can see that Napoli is just in another level. They're playing a kind of football that is very different from last year. They have a different kind of spirit. They're playing a fluid football, young, hungry players. And there's one thing about Napoli that I really think is interesting. Raspadori. I'm looking at this team. I don't think Raspadori is going to stay at Napoli. Why the hell would Raspadori be on that bench? Like, if I was Milan, I'd try to get Raspadori. Raspadori is not is on the bench in that team. How long he's going to be sitting on the bench on that team? So if I'm Milan, I'm thinking about Raspadori. I'll try to get Raspadori, get him once and for all. But anyway, so as I was saying, like the difference between this year and last year, as far as Milan goes, is not that much. It really is not that much. It's kind of still the same. Let's look at the possible probable formation for tomorrow. It's an interesting formation. From what I've seen, it is you have Krunic attacking midfield, and and Diaz is going to be on the right. I like this formation. I like this formation a lot. I really like to see Krunic in the attacking midfield position. I think when we have Krunic in the attacking midfield position, that is when we are the best. That is when we are the most solid. That is when we don't concede goals. That's when we suffer the least. When we have Krunic in the midfield position, in the attacking midfield position, and then Theo Hernandez, Leao, Giroud, and Diaz is more than enough firepower. More than enough firepower. So here it is. Let's see. So this is what we're looking at. Tatarusano, Kalulu Tomori, Hernandez. That defense there looks very solid to me. It's the typical solid defense that we can put together. Maybe this is Tatarusano's last game for this season. And Mike Manyan, by the way, did not make the World Cup. But the midfield is the best midfield we can have. There's no experiments, no three. You know, the last game, Pioli couldn't put Giroud, couldn't put Hernandez because of the yellow card, disqualifications, whatever. Giroud got a red card, and he tried to rotate Leao, but maybe that didn't pay off. He should have played Leao. Rebic had such an awful game. Rebic's game last against Cremonese deserves a fine. Like he deserves a fine for the performance that he put on that pitch. The way he displayed his football, and I'll explain it. I'll explain it in a second. But this formation here looks very nice. I like it a lot. It is a very solid formation. Both the right wing chain and the left wing chain have a certain balance to them. Of course, Hernandez, Leao, the more offensive left wing chain. Diaz, Kalulu, a little bit more balanced. Kalulu covering for Diaz. Diaz needs that cover. But Diaz is doing very well, not necessarily playing wide on the right, like up here wide, but coming here center right, attacking midfield. This is a really good position for Diaz right there. If Milan played in a Christmas tree formation, a 4-3-2-1, Diaz would be perfect for that right attacking midfield position. So I'm very glad with this formation. I think this formation here is a very solid formation, especially you're playing at home. It's the last game of the San Siro. The San Siro this year has been the 12th player for AC Milan. So I'm expecting a good performance from the lads. and I'm not expecting any surprises. Very, very solid midfield. Very balanced team. This is a very balanced team. I like it a lot. Let's look at Fiorentina. So Fiorentina playing also with a 4-2-3-1. We know these players. There's quality here. Jovic, Kwame, Bonaventura, Icone. Those are all there's quality up there. Of course, we know Bonaventura, Mandragora, and Amrabat. Those are both quality double pivots. Defense also there's quality in the defense. Biragi is a good left back. Igor Milenkovic, Dodo, one of the few players with Calabria actually that was able to stop Vice Verasquilla this season. So watch out for Dodo. He's going to be taking care of Leao. Dodo was able to stop Vice Verasquilla, except for that one moment where Vice Verasquilla passed the ball to Lozano. Lozano messed it up. But if Dodo plays the same way against Leao, Leao might have difficulties. But let's see. Let's see. Maybe Leao is up for it. Anyway, it looks like a pretty balanced game overall. Looks like both teams are going to put in quality players. It looks like it's going to be a good game of football. And for me, who I love football, um, and I enjoy watching football. For me, even when Milan plays badly, I enjoy watching football. I enjoy watching the tactics being displayed on the field. I enjoy reading the game. But anyway, so yeah, Leao against Dodal, that's going to be an interesting one-on-one. Hernandez going in here. Milenkovic, a player that we wanted, also we were looking at. So yeah, it's going to be a difficult game. But Fiorentina maybe is not having the season that people thought they might have had or were going to have. Let's look at Fiorentina. Fiorentina has 19 points. They have scored 17, conceded 18. Let's look at their form. So here, wow, look at this. They went 5 games without a win. Then they won. Then they went 4 games without a win. Now they're on a streak right here. They've been catching a little bit of form, but they started this season on the wrong foot, and that is a fact. You can't really deny that. Anyway, it's going to be a difficult game. A difficult game, that is for sure. I'm pretty confident in the team. As I said, Milan is not. It's not that we are not good this season. It's if you judge the market, we are exactly the same. We have these new players that need to adapt. We have Origi that has joined the team, and he's given us a little bit more depth offensively. But Origi and Castillo don't have literally the same stats at this point. Anyway, I don't want to talk shit about Origi. But it's just that Napoli is excelling. Napoli is excelling. Everybody else is more or less the same as last year. Everybody else is more or less this. And Juventus is the team that if they had their whole roster available, I wonder where Juventus would be. If Juventus had Pogba, Chiesa, Di Maria, Bremer, these new guys with the new youngsters and the full squad available, they would be. I think they'd be in a better position, but they are in a decent position. But they're only 2 points away from us, and they are the team that has conceded the least amount of goals. This stat in Serie A, as you know, is a very important stat. Some might say the most important stat, the goals that you concede in the Serie A. So Juventus has been doing very poorly on the field, but very well in defense. Like the numbers don't lie. Numbers do not lie. Defensively, they're very good. So it makes me wonder. They have been able to keep their defensive integrity. What happens when you have a full Juventus team? Yeah, they're going to still play like shit, but a full Juventus team to me is a team that is going to grind out results. So Juventus could be the anti-Napoli if Milan doesn't do something. Milan needs to do something here in the market because we are missing something. we do miss we do lack quality in many instances. We see that, yeah, we haven't replaced Cassie really. We haven't replaced uh, um, the we haven't replaced Cassie with a player that can bring in that kind of solidity. I do think Krunic is the best replacement for Cassie right now. I think Krunic is the readiest player for Cassie. As a matter of fact, when Krunic is in that attacking midfield position, I feel very good. It looks very confident. Krunic now is a mature player. He's ready for the big football. He's ready to play in the Champions League. He's ready to play in the Serie A. He could be a starter for AC Milan if they don't get anybody for the rest of the season. He is the best player Milan can put in that attacking midfield position. And on the right, you can have Diaz, you can have Messias, you can have Rebic. And if you want to go really offensive against maybe a smaller team at the San Siro, you can put Diaz there and Messias on the right, or Diaz there and Rebic on the right. But against Fiorentina, a team that we guys saw how much quality they have. They have Icone, they have Bonaventura, they have Jovic, they have Kwame, they have Mandragora, who is a very good player, and they have Amrabat, who is also a very good player. That's a lot of quality that Fiorentina has. So you need someone there that is going to do the dirty work. You need someone there that is going to play simple, right? That is not going to take many risks and that is just going to play easy. And the risk taken is going to be done by three players. Only three players can have the green lights to take risks. The Hernandez, Leao, and Diaz. Everybody else in the team has the red light as far as taking risks, and that is perfect. That is a very good balanced team. The finalizer is Giroud. So yeah, I think this season so far has been good. Of course, we can say it should have been better. But it should have been better according to what? To what metric should have been better? Um, why should it have been better? Like, give me a good reason why this season should have been better. We didn't inject the team with ready to go quality and ready to go players. It's the same team as last year, plus some new youngsters that now have to learn the ropes and et cetera, et cetera. So why should we be doing better than last year? It's being consistent from last year is a positive thing. We know that this summer mercato, the team had financial limits. There was a change of ownership, therefore there wasn't this big effort for the mercato. People might say, well, Milan, Maldini, Massara didn't spend that 50 million correctly. I don't know. I don't know. For me, as I said, if I was head of the Mercato, I would have gone for Raspadori. 35 million for Raspadori. That is a no-brainer for me. But we didn't go for Raspadori. We went for CDK. CDK is not ready yet. But I think once he is going to be ready, we will have a top player there as well. Now, just a little parenthesis on CDK. CDK is going to the World Cup. Tournaments like that are a huge, huge, huge growth projection for these players. That experience of that amount of pressure playing for your country, where you have no margins of error. Those are great tournaments for players to grow. So I think we're lucky that CDK made the team, because I think that if you'd asked most Milan fans, CDK probably didn't deserve to make the national team, but he did. Martinez actually had some interesting words about CDK, the coach of Belgium. He said that, CDK is going exactly how he should be going. He's doing really well. So Martinez encouraging CDK and trying to cover him with more positive feedback. But objectively speaking, because we are Milan and we usually tend to expect, big performances. We can argue that maybe CDK didn't deserve to go to the Belgium team, but it doesn't matter. it really doesn't matter because what really matters is that CDK is going there, and that is going to help him grow faster. So when he comes back and the Serie A starts again in January, we're going to have a CDK with a World Cup under his belt, his first World Cup. These are experiences that you can't just make up. These are real, tangible experience. They have a real meaning. And the same thing will go for Leao. Same thing is going to go for Leao. It'll be his first World Cup. I wonder how much he will be playing. Same thing with CDK. I wonder how much he will be playing. We know Balotelli is going to the World Cup. I don't think he's going to be playing much. Maybe he will. Yeah, we'll look at the players that are going to the World Cup. Dest is going to the World Cup, but is Dest even going to be staying at Milan? That's going to be a big question. When Florenzi is back, I would keep on going with Florenzi. Actually, I don't know if I would go. If I would, I mean, Florenzi was mismanaged by Pioli. If Pioli, what this is what Pioli did essentially. Pioli, where was it? Was it this one or here? Was it here? So Pioli begins the season 3 games in a row. Florenzi doesn't play against Udinese. He doesn't play at all against Atalanta. He doesn't play at all against Bologna. Then we get to Sassuolo, and and Pioli plays him for the whole 90 minutes. You know, it's like Florenzi is not a 20-year old. He's not 22. He's 32, I believe, something like that, 31, 32. This is the beginning of the season where the players are still getting their fitness. You play him for 19 minutes there. This is mismanagement. This was absolute mismanagement by Pioli, and it's his fault. It is Pioli's fault that Florenzi got injured there. Florenzi should have never played 90 minutes there. Florenzi should have been subbed there at 70th minute or something like that, so we could have had Florenzi up until now. Florenzi up until now would have helped this team. We probably would have done better in the Champions League. We probably would have done even better in the Campeonato, because Dest really, he came in at the last day of the Mercato. How the hell do you expect Dest to fit in this team with zero preparation, zero summer trainings, just right in, there's no way Des can just fit into the team like that, especially being so young too. He doesn't have experience to do that. So I think Pioli really messed up here with Florenzi in this game right here. And but once he is back, I hope Pioli manages him correctly so we can have him. He's a very reliable person, reliable player. Let's look at the other players that are in the World Cup. Let's see. And by the way, guys, on Monday, Milan news starts all over again. Okay, here we are. Okay, so these are the players that are in the World Cup. Great experience for Theo Hernandez, especially because I think Theo Hernandez is going to be a protagonist for France. He is going to be playing quite a lot. I mean, if you have Theo Hernandez, how can you not play him? How can you not play him? So I think it will be his first experience in the World Cup. It's going to be a great experience for him. Giroud has won this competition already, so we've seen, like, look at Giroud, a player that technically maybe when it comes to just holding the ball and playing in the middle of the park, connecting with the midfielders, maybe Giroud is not the most flashiest of players. He will make mistakes if he's having a bad game, especially if he plays many games in a row. We've seen that when he plays many games in a row, after a few, he becomes inexistent and makes a lot of mistakes. But Giroud, his experience as a professional in the Champions League, in the World Cup, and all his experience, you see like how important it is, and it has become. And he's one of the he's the second Ibrahimovic of the team. Pretty much Ibra, Giroud, and Kjaer are the three senators of the team that are really really helping these young kids get their shit together. And another thing, Giroud has been absolutely decisive for Milan. Absolutely decisive. Giroud has been bossing it around. So I don't think it's going to be an experience that is going to change much of Giroud. Giroud already had all of these experiences. What we need is for CDK to get that experience. I don't know what's going to happen with Dest in the future. We need Theo Hernandez to get that experience. We need Leao to get that experience. We needed Tonali to get that experience. We needed Calabria to get that experience. And Mike Magnan, by the way, is not going to the World Cup. Mike Magnan is not going to the World Cup. Um, so that means that he's going to be recovering. And also, we needed Tomori for that experience. People are saying Kalulu. I don't know. Kalulu, I don't know if that is. I don't know. Kalulu is still an under 21. And I think it's difficult for an under 21 to break through when France already has so many defenders that have been playing for a long time at high levels. But don't forget that Kalulu is still in the under 21 national team. I think this is his last year of the under 21s, and then he's done. Um, so people are saying, Kalulu needed to go. I don't agree with that. I think Kalulu is not ready to go to the World Cup. Of course, if Kalulu played for a national team that maybe had less talent, he'd probably be in the World Cup. But because France is so stacked with talent that, yeah, I think his progress is going to be gradual, step by step. Makes sense. Kjaer, oh, the one negative thing about Kjaer is that Kjaer, maybe his body, especially with that injury that he had. Let's see how his body holds during the World Cup. The World Cup is, those games are very intense. They're very intense, those games. So he's probably going to be playing all of them, I'm assuming. So let's hope that nothing crazy happens to him. The good thing, as far as injuries go, that we don't have many players that could get injured. We don't have many players that could get injured. So maybe you can see that is one of the positive things. But I wish we had more players that were going. Diaz also is not ready to take that mantle. Salamakers was going to go. Salamakers, I don't know if he was going to go, but he was one of the options. Um, Maybe Messias even deserves to go if you look at the other Brazilian players, which have some of them have the same numbers as Messias. You could argue if you want to make that argument. Benacer is not going because Algeria did not qualify. Krunic is not going because Bosnia did not qualify. So yeah, Vranks, Chow, and Ali are all under 21s. These are all under 21s, so we'll probably see them in the under 21 games. There's going to be under 21 friendlies. I think we're going to see Vranks in the under 21 friendlies coming up and Chow in the under 21 friendlies. I don't know if Ali is still in the under 21 bracket. He might be, or maybe last year was his last year. So we're going to find out about that as well. Okay. All good stuff, all good stuff, all good stuff. Then here, interesting news keeps popping up, has been popping up for a while, is Cancelo is coming to Milan. No, I'm joking. Future move cannot be excluded as Milan retain interest in Bruce Star. So 23-year-old Ford is still on the radar. We're talking about Nao Lang, and this is basically we're talking the replacement of Leao in case Leao leaves. That's another thing that we're going to have to wait for is the future of Leao. Where is Leao going to be? You know, um, after the winter market. So it's going to be a winter market of a lot of suffering. I predict. I predict we're going to suffer a lot because you know, we'll have to figure out what happens with Lao. We have to figure out what happens to Benacer. Um, is Now Lang the best replacement for Leao? You ask me. I say no. I say no. But maybe Now Lang, a 23-year-old, national for Holland. I think if he comes to Milan, he will be effective almost right away. I would say at 23 years old. But yeah, the story about Leao, I don't know what's going to happen with Leao, guys. I wish I knew. I wish I had a crystal ball, but we definitely will find out. As far as Rebic goes, I want to talk about his performance last game. His performance last game was just so damn atrocious. Um, it was just so atrocious. Like it was unbelievably atrocious. Almost I would say not only atrocious, unacceptable. And I just want to explain the tactics of how of Rebic in that game, and I just got to get it out of my system, man, because I don't know what to think of Reb. Like Rebic cannot show up on the pitch and give us those kind of performances. If this guy, if we want to win the second star, Rebic can't show up on the pitch and give us those kind of performances. Absolutely not. Just unacceptable stuff. Unacceptable stuff. Let me just go here. Give me 1 second. Just unacceptable stuff. Give me 1 second. Oh, interesting. Wow. Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Let me set this up, guys. Give me 1 second. I'm using a different web browser now because the previous web browser I was using was just, I don't know, and nothing was working. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Give me 1 second. Time to set this up. By the way, Floki is a piece of shit, and he's okay. So you play. Let's analyze that formation. It wasn't a bad formation. It really was not a bad formation, and I hope that performance does not discourage Pioli not to use it anymore because he should use it again. It's good to have Plan Bs. Unfortunately, it did not bring in the results. So a lot of times when formations don't bring in the results, then the coaches tend to not use those formations anymore. Um, but it's a shame because I really like this formation. I really like it. I think it's a really good formation. It's a very balanced formation. In the beginning, it was a good formation, especially because you had Benacer and Kier both being a registi here, and it was working. But the second half of the game, Kier was just not. I mean, the second half when Milan was chasing the result, Kier was in the back, and it was these two players. And this is why I hate threes because Kier was here in the back, and it was Tomori and Kalulu just passing the ball to each other. There was no need for Kier at this point because Cremonese had their whole squad here in the back in the second half, so there was no need to have a central defender. And Kier was here with Tatarusano, just drinking coffee, just doing nothing. So we had a player less here in this side in order. So this is why the three at the back. As a coach, I have used this formation a bunch of times. I don't like it. I don't like it because even when you defend with a line of five in the back, with a defensive three, even when I always noticed, and I still and you can see it, that it's just a waste because you have this central player here that is marking nobody. He's just there. He's just going to be the second press. It's like you don't need that. Have an extra player up here in this space. So I'm 100% against a back three. I hate the back three. I think it's anti-football. But in the first half, it was working well. It was working well. The issue with this formation was Rebic. Because in the functionality of this team, Origi was playing the first line. He was on the first line, putting pressure on the first line, looking for basically being a prima punta. In Italian, we call this position prima punta. And then Rebic was being the seconda punta. We call this position seconda punta. It's basically he comes back down to collect the ball, and then he interacts with the attacking midfielder or interacts with the winger over here, and he creates game. He creates a play, right? Everything was going through Rebic, and it was up to Rebic to create the play. But Rebic would fuck up every single time he had the ball. Every single time he was too soft. He tried to do a dummy. It was too soft. He tried to do 1-2s. It didn't work out. He only had about 15 minutes where Rebic was working, and in those 15 minutes, Milan looked like they were going to score. But then that's it. He disappeared again. This was all on Rebic. And most importantly, it was all on Pioli for not reading that Rebic was not doing his job. He needed to take him out right away in the second half, put Leao right there, and not take away Origi. This season so far, I have identified two mistakes from Pioli that have cost us points. Mistake number one was against Torino, where he allowed Torino to get on the front foot because he played with this formation here, and he played with Pobega as the sole pivot. And Pobega is not a regista, so every time Pobega had the ball in this area, he was surrounded by players. All these players were marked, and the second pivot was peeling away to create space for Pobega, but it wasn't working. So what he should have done, he should have kept both pivots together, which is what he did since then, by the way. And that would have been, it wouldn't have been as nice as it is when Serie was, but it would have been better. We would have been able to get out of that press. Mistake number one. Mistake number two, Rebic. How the fuck do you keep Rebic on the field for 80 minutes when he's completely destroying your game plan? So right now, like players go through moments of poor form. You can argue that coaches go through moments of poor form. Their decision making is not up to par. Anyway, so this next game, though, that we are looking at, as I said earlier, Giroud in that position, Leao here, Diaz here in the center right position, and Krunic, as I said in previous streams, the good thing about Krunic in this position is that when he has the ball, you can get Theo Hernandez come all the way up. You can even bring Kalulu up. You can have your Benacer here as the reset as a regista and the two defenders. But the thing about Krunic is when he has the ball here, he's not going to do anything crazy. He's not going to try to dribble. He's not going to try and do through balls. He's going to do simple football, which means that we less risk of. This is why Krunic is so important in that position. So I'm expecting a very good game tomorrow. I'm expecting a solid game. Floki is a piece of shit. He needs to apologize to Skillard. And Floki is a piece of shit. All right, let me go to chat. Okay, what's up, chat? How you doing? Hola. Yeah, let's see him clearly. Antonio was cheating you, Roy. Why chess? I don't know how to play chess, guys. Chess is like there's so many moves. You need to read so many moves. There's so many combinations. Like in order to become good at chess, you need minimum 2 years of playing, experience, minimum 2 years. So I don't even have a month. I only have maybe a month or 2 months of chess experience. So what's up, Safe? Haven't seen you in a while. How you doing, my man? Alan, Forza Milan. I think we all know that we're losing. Oh, God. Bro, man, Lab Gorilla has been so fucking negative, bro. Jesus Christ. We had a chance to make an extra step in the market, but we missed out. Raspadori is proving me mega wrong. Yeah, I know. I wish you would just listen to me. Raspadori was cheap as well as he cost total 30 million. Yeah. I know. Our management will say that lots of players are back from injuries and there will be like having new signings. Well, it kind of will be like having new signings, to be honest with you. When does the market start? The market starts in January. But, I'm sure as soon as the Campeonato ends, we're going to be talking about the Mercato. So Milan News recommences on a Monday. Well, ABC costs 32 million straight. Who's ABC? I'm not sure. That is the hard truth. We won't sign difference maker at all. I don't know. We'll find out. Ballo to me is out. I'm bringing an Italian player. We'll see. We'll see. Replacement for Diaz because the rumors that we can't really buy him and it's really a dry loan. Yes, this is what I've been reading as well. It looks like Diaz is going to be on his way out. Unfortunately, Diaz. Well, Diaz used Milan to grow as a player. Congratulations. We need experienced players to mix well with the youth players. Yeah, absolutely. Christian, if it's true, that was the move along with Bakayoko. Well, Bakayoko was supposed to work out better. He was supposed to be Kessi's substitute, but it didn't work out. Yeah, bro, we just bought youth and non experienced players. Decent leaving is done, so playing him is they're doing. But we tomorrow we need to win the game. We're not thinking about the summer mercato tomorrow. Tomorrow we got to think about Fiorentina and Diaz. If Diaz is good to play, you should play. It's a dumb move, but remember we were on a super tight budget, and it's the best choice for me. With a transfer market coming, it's up to new owners and purely demands. Seriously, these for okay. Guys, you say that, but you have to bring Conzo Diaz so far has been more or less reliant. Yeah, he has to be a starter for sure. Our Salamaker has been better than CDK this year, but sucks he was injured. True, man. We really needed Salamakers and the energy that he brings and the press that he brings. All that stuff is stuff that we don't have. We've seen the difference. With Salamakers last year, we looked better. Serie looks already won by Napoli. It kind of does. Several windows of absolute ass purchase are showing that we have no chance of controlling any game. Man, Lab Gorilla is super negative. Not playing Diaz just because he's a dry loan would actually be very negative. Yeah, no, of course we have to play Diaz. Tomorrow, the purpose is 3 points. It's not Diaz and the market of the summer. Tomorrow we got to think about the 3 points and use the resources that we have. So yeah, it does. But remember, winter champions don't win the title. It has happened 2 years in a row. Difference is that I don't think Napoli was. What is it? How far are they away? I don't know. I think there's. Well, we are at 30. They are at 40. They're 11 points away from us, bro. 11 points away from us. 11 points away from us. That's a lot. We're 2 points above Allegri ball. Yeah, true. Christian, they won't spend any significant amount this winter, maybe a known youngster, aka Lazatic. I wonder if Lazatic is going to be ready. I'm really curious to see how these youngsters in the Primavera are going to do. By the way, the Roma right now has a really sick Primavera. And there's a very interesting player called Cassano, by the way, who is doing really good. Really good. 8 goals and 4 assists in 11 games. And Roma beat Juventus. So Roma has a very interesting Primavera. Very interesting. I mean, look at Napoli has had Vice Verasquilla out for 3 days. Check out Napoli, guys. Vice Verasquilla has been injured for the past 3 games. Raspadori barely plays because in this formation, Raspadori is a bench player. And they're still grinding out results and playing amazing football. Raspadori, guys. Watch out. If I was Milan, I'd be looking at this situation. Raspadori should not be in on sitting on any bench. Raspadori should be playing. And if I was Milan, I'd be looking into this. I'd be looking into this because Spalletti, if Osimhen is available, Spalletti will play Osimhen for 90 minutes. He will not. I will not sub Osimhen at all. He'll keep him on the pitch for now. Even if Napoli is winning 4-0, Spalletti will keep Osimhen in for 90 minutes. Raspadori and Simeone are there warming up for the whole second half. Guys, go get Raspadori. This guy wants to play. He doesn't want to sit on a bench. Can you come here for Nancy Giroud because he's older and haven't played more? I'm not sure what you mean. Can still win because again, blah, blah, blah. Okay. You don't have much for okay. Milan for life, Roy Urabeski for great content coming. Thank you, Falcon Flynn. We could score against the Cremonese. I got scored on twice by Empoli. CDK should have stayed at Milan. He had no preseason, should have stayed, trained with the rest of the team, get himself acclimatized. I disagree with that. He's got the opportunity to go to the World Cup, man. You go to the World Cup. You don't fucking go to a training camp. You go to that. The World Cup is the training camp. Come on, Ricardos. Ali should have been played and not pushed. I definitely agree with that. Ali was in form. Ali was the player that Milan worked on for the whole summer. He did great in the summer. Then, as soon as we got CDK, he was pushed back of the queue, and then they tried to bring in CDK and give CDK that role. But Ali was doing a great job. And remember, at the time, Leao was even posting images on his Instagram, with shaking the emoji shaking hand with him and Ali because Ali was doing really well. I agree that Ali should have continued, and CDK should have be pushed in the team slowly. So we have a lot. Yeah, Messias is injured tomorrow, correct? Roy, please. Messias. What about Messias? Ali represents Algerian, correct? Salame is on the standby list for the W. Oh, okay. He's still on the standby schedule. Nice. There's one difference. At the beginning of last season, we didn't have Kalou and Tomori as our established starters. We had a completely different team if one to find the problem. We're conceding the same amount of goals, though. Lau is leaving. You know this already, Roy. I don't know for sure, but if he does, he does. We should take the last part of the season as reference, and that team wasn't conceding any goals. Well, I think the last season, the mental state, the physical state of the last quarter of the season is going to be very different from the physical, mental state of a team in the beginning of the season. Again, what Napoli is doing is a little bit out of the norms, right? Man City lost to Brentford or some stupid team like that, So it's Napoli's really just being extraordinary right now. Again, even a curious thing about last season too was that up until the last quarter of the season, so the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, we didn't have the best defense. It was in the last quarter of the season that we became the best defense because we played all those games we did not concede goals. But that last quarter comes with the mental process of having a goal inside. When you at the end of the horizon, you can see the finish line. Teams physiologically, mentally change. So Milan right now is doing a normal season right now. It's Napoli that is being abnormal. If you really look at the goals we conceded individually, you'll find that most of them are mistakes due to concentration, something we hardly saw in the last matches. Yeah, the last matches, the concentration there needs to be higher. It's different. Another curious stat is we have a terrible record in away games that we've amassed since the beginning of the season. I think both rounds are two sides of the same coin. Okay. Yeah, I hate back three. Back three sucks. It's the worst. I hate back three. the most anti-football thing in the world. Milan looks poor when it comes to scoring. They need to get it together. Looks like we won't catch Napoli. I don't know. I don't think so. Napoli is in another level. If we can inject the team with a bunch of quality in the summer, in the January mercato, maybe we can. But it's not going to be up to us. It's going to be up to Napoli losing games. At this point, only Napoli can lose the Scudetto, right? At this point, it's not anymore Juve can win the Scudetto, Milan can win the Scudetto, Inter can win the Scudetto. At this point, the conversation is Napoli can lose the Scudetto. Napoli's not 8 points ahead in the season context. It's almost 15, 16 points because the World Cup will play a vital role for the season. Top players of every club will suffer from fatigue. Yeah, that is a a good, it's a good assessment to make. Yeah. We'll see what happens. According to Milan, what's up, Brandon? According to Milan fan base, after 1-2 bad results, we're bad and we're battling for relegation. We have zero chance because the other teams are so much better. Rare, did you saw Chow is picked with Tomori on center back spot? Where, for tomorrow? I did not see that. What I am seeing is that Kjaer and Tomori are playing. I did not see any reports of Chow playing. The problem is that Rebic was bad. Leao comes on, but you see this. I disagree with you, Alessandro. I disagree with you because Rebic was bad. Leao comes in, but you take out Origi and you keep on Rebic. Rebic needs to play with Leao, but if Rebic can't play with Leao, then what is Leao going to do? Leao needs a partner. Leao needs a Giroud. Leao needs an Origi. Leao needs a Rebic. But if Rebic is not there, so even this analysis that Leao came in and he was bad, I don't agree with. Because if Leao had an Origi there, waiting for the final pass, maybe Leao could have gotten an assist. But Rebic was coming in deep to collect the ball. Every time he collected the ball, it was a mess. And Rebic, guys, had the freaking guys. I'm not going on an anti-Rebic whatever here, but Rebic had the audacity to put on Instagram a little clip of him dribbling some players against Cremonese. Yo, you had the worst performance of your fucking career, and you don't put clips of you. Whatever. I really feel sorry for Bakayoko. I really like the guy, but he's not good anymore. Something happened to him. I don't know what happened. We compare ourselves to the best in Europe League. Simply not good enough. Poor Messias didn't get called up to the World Cup. I think he deserved to get to the. I think he kind of deserved. If you look at the other one, the season 38 rounds long, not 14. So guys, relax. Last season we were 7 points behind Inter, and we still won the Scudetto. That's not bad. That is true, but Inter did not play the way Napoli is playing now. Look, I don't know if we're going to win the Scudetto. I don't care if we're going to win the Scudetto. To be honest with you. To be honest with you, I don't think we deserve to win the Scudetto. I mean, if you want me to be honest with you, unless Napoli fucks up, we don't deserve to win the Scudetto. You know, Napoli deserves to win the Scudetto. They're the team that is beating everybody. They're the team that is playing the best football. They're the team that is not losing any points, so they deserve to win the Scudetto. If they fuck up and we can be there, then let's go take it. Let's go take it. Let's be opportunists. Carpe diem. Look at how Napoli is playing compared to Milan to fix their struggles. Yeah, and listen, this is the fact. Like when we saw the Napoli roster before the season started, it's like this is why I was telling you guys, yo, Napoli has one of the best rosters in the world. I was not saying that about Milan, but it's not that I'm being anti-Milanista. I'm being a realist. I'm just looking at reality. If I see a rock and that rock is gray, I'm going to say the color of that rock is gray. I'm not going to say the color of that rock is yellow because I want to feel good about myself. No, the color of that rock is gray. Period. People need to start looking at Napoli's spend compared to Milan in the last few transfer windows. We need an injection of quality. Once we get that injection of quality, we will be better than Napoli. I kind of feel this World Cup break will affect Napoli just like the way COVID break affected Lazio for 2 or 3. Yeah, maybe it can, guys. I mean, honestly, in January it's going to be a whole new Scudetto, right? It's almost like a whole new season. Teams will reinforce. By the way, Tottenham is playing like shit, so I'm sure they will reinforce too. Teams are playing like shit. Sorry, teams teams are going to come back. I think Milan is going to keep on being the same, as in Milan is going to be up there amongst the top four. And I wonder what we're going to do. I don't think we can do much in the winter transfer market. Like, how many players can you get in the winter transfer market that are really going to change the? I mean, do we need to change it? We need to get someone that can put some fucking fire up Rebic's ass, because maybe a Now Lang would be good. Maybe a Now Lang for Rebic, not for Leao. Bring in Now Lang for Rebic. Unfortunately, Rebic right now has no sympathy from me. A performance like that one against Cremonese is unacceptable. Unacceptable. Napoli is having a dream streak like Liverpool, and when they took the league, that's out of our hands. Yeah, they're having a great season, and it's fine. It's fine to admit that they're having a great season. It's no problem with that. Most of the Napoli team is not going to World Cup. They'll be rested and ready to go. Yeah, their superstars are not going to the World Cup. It is, though, an experience that I'm sure would have made them better. Last season we 9 points and we can win the Scudetto. Yeah, we can win the Scudetto, but Inter was not as good as Napoli, guys. Was not as good as Napoli, guys. Please, Roy. I don't know why everyone is getting worked up on Napoli because form is temporary, but class is permanent. Egan, stop trying to convince yourself that the sky is not blue, because you've been doing this the whole season. Stop trying to convince yourself that the sky is not blue. The sky is blue, bro. Rebic slowly turning into Hakan. He's worse. As long as Inter or Juve doesn't win it and we finish top four, for me, it's a good season. Yeah, Roy Messi is not getting into that Brazil squad. I want to see it too, but they're stacked up front. Some of those players are nothing special, in my opinion. The only thing that is on the way is with 2 matches against Juve and Inter. If you lose 3 or 4 points and we win every match, we'll get a chance there. Yeah, we have to win every match. They have to lose 3 matches. It can happen, sure, it can happen. I'm not saying it can't happen, but objectively speaking, it's probably not going to happen. It's probably not going to happen. And that's okay. It's okay. This is why I don't get worked up about Milan not winning the Scudettis. I get worked up when Milan doesn't make top four. Because in Serie A, damn it, is not the fucking Bundesliga. Serie A is not Ligue 1, where there's only one team. Serie A, it's usually 3 teams. Milan, Inter, and Juve. Every once in a while, you have Lazio, you have Roma, and maybe now this time you have Napoli. So for me, as long as we make top four every year and we get that Champions League money, and then we go through the next group of the stages and we keep on getting that Champions League money, that is going to guarantee me winning the Scudetto. Not magic, and me dreaming that Napoli is going to crash. No, getting the money and stepping up and step by step building the team to eventually win the Scudetto, and doing that on a regular basis. The only thing is that weighs the 2 matches against Juve and Inter. If you lose 3 or 4 points and we win every match, okay, I read that. Anything can happen, man, in terms of the Scudetto race. I'm counting on Napoli drop points at 7 points, but we have to help ourselves to shape performance like Torino and Cremonese. Yeah, like we're saying Napoli is going to drop points. Who says that we're not going to drop points? Who says that we're not going to drop points? Maybe we are going to drop points. We still have to play Roma and Lazio. Lazio is not a pushover. True. We're not getting anyone, Roy. We need to sell to buy. No one is going to buy Rebic. Well, I don't know if we need to sell to buy. I'm not sure about that. We will find that out soon. Losing to Torino, dropping points to Cremonese, Sassuolo, and Atalanta is on us. That's not. It is on us. That is on us. We right. I'm excited to see Chow in a four-man defense, and it seems tomorrow he will play. Where are you guys seeing this Chow thing? Gazeta dello Sport is reporting Kjaer. Uh, well, okay, if he is playing, that's interesting. That is interesting. Latest news: Sky Blue backs Man City to sign Leao. Yeah, Chelsea, Man City, they all want Leao. Everybody wants Leao. Top four this year, guys. If it's not the Scudetto, top four. If we make top four, I know that next year I can win the Champions League. That's what I care about. And then if we can win the Scudetto, bet good. I have no problem. I have no problem. But I'm just being realistic in saying that it's going to be difficult this year. Like last year, I was convinced that we could have won the Scudetto. I was 100% convinced that we could have won the Scudetto because of a roster we had, because where we were, and everything surrounding the Serie A and the situation. I was convinced we could have won the Serie A. I was convinced we had a very good chance of winning the Serie A. This year, again, when you see what Napoli did, it's difficult because they have really excelled in that market. That market was killer for them. It was a killer market for them. If Lagos does go, best to get a heavy purse for him. Hopefully so. Yeah. Latest news: Sky News says English teams are the best favorites in the CL. Yeah, sure, of course, English news is always going to say that. Origi 20. Well, he needs to score 19 more goals. There are 24 games left, so he could. Top four to see a winner. Dude, wake up, bruh. Hello. Are you forgetting that when we won the Champions League in the past, we almost never finished as Scudetto winners? Man, these guys thinking that in order to win the Champions League you have to finish first is just not true. It's just not true. It is not true. Actually, Milan is the best example of that not being true. Latest Pioli said goal is Ibra to be ready for first game. Oh, nice, good. Now with Ibra, okay. If Ibra is at the level he was 2 years ago, then we will play some really nice football. Then we will play some really nice football. Then we'll play some really nice football. Noah Lang can be replaced for Lau. I don't think he can't. No one wants to admit it, but we got a lucky last year, Radu. Yeah, luck has a big part of. Luck is always a big part of the equation, for sure. For sure, luck is always a big part of the equation, no doubt about that. Even if he's not. Okay, guys, I'm going to open up the live. I'm going to go on for 30 more minutes. If anybody wants to join, Andon, if you want to join, Paul, you guys want to. You want to get shit out of your chest, you can. I'm going to go on for 30 more minutes, more or less. I've said everything I needed to say. If you guys want to add stuff or even counter stuff, you're more than welcome. In the meantime, I'm going to just read the chat. Even if he is not, he will be all the time with the team. I don't. Oh, yeah. His locker room presence is always good. Roy, so when should I expect Rui Costa and Inzaghi coming through the door? Ricardus, that's a great example. That's exactly what happened to us in 2003, which is exactly what Napoli did this year. We brought in Rui Costa, we brought in Nesta, we brought in Inzaghi. I don't remember if we're all in the same market, but it was a gradual. I don't remember, but we got to 2003 where we were stacked with quality, absolutely stacked with quality, and we need to see Cardinale and the boys do something. I know Ibra is done, bro. It is what it is. I'm not expecting much. That man can't even stay on side. I don't blame him. I mean, he is 41. Age does get to you. So, also, when teams change their concept a bit, it takes time to adjust for the opponents. Napoli won't have it easy in the second half. I don't think so. I think in Napoli, it would be much more difficult for Napoli. I do agree with that. I think that all the teams that are going to be playing Napoli in the second half of the season are going to play Napoli with nothing to lose. So I do think it's going to be more difficult for Napoli. So yeah, there is a chance. There is a chance, sure. Forza Krunic, as always, Forza Krunic. We were unbeatable when Pioli reformed us. Yeah, and listen, guys. I still believe in the Scudetto. I still 100% believe in the Scudetto. And I'm sure that if things go our way, we can win it. We can win it. But let's not pretend that Napoli is just this team that is riding on a lucky wave. There's nothing lucky about what they're doing. There's nothing lucky about what they're doing. And also, Napoli has a favorable Champions League draw coming up for them too. I mean, we have a favorable Champions League draw coming up. Anyway, guys, that's it for today. If anybody wants to join, I'm going to close. I've said everything I needed to say. We're going to do another live tomorrow, open live after the game, post match. So, looking forward to seeing everybody there. But listen, guys, Forza Milan, and yeah, we can win the Scudetto. Yeah, sure, blah, blah, blah. We can win the Scudetto. But I think tomorrow we have a really good squad at the San Siro. I think we can win the game tomorrow, and I think we should. Anyway, guys, peace out. See you next time. Alla prossima. Ciao. Arrivederci. Forza Milan.